congratulations on the film. I really
you.
enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Both of your characters are quite rebellious and saying kind of go against the conventions of the time. How would you describe them?
Exactly like that. They go against the grain. Saying before that it's always fun to play those roles where you're, in a disagreement with somebody. It's where the drama happens. And especially as, both of our characters, I think, have such strong beliefs in what they, in their morals and what they think is right. And when the extremes like that, when the stakes are that high, it's a gift for an actor to be able to get their teeth stuck into a role like that.
And I think it speaks also to the differences between men and women at that time and how they approached feeling like they didn't like the way things were going for them. The kind of aggression and the rage with which Tom's character approaches, the situation that he's not happy with and that he wants to make a change in. And, for Catherine, in the position that she's been placed in, that she's not, I wouldn't say not happy with, but just kind of doesn't really quite know what to make of. I mean, she's had a kind of more distant perspective on King Henry and everything that he's been doing, in regards to her country and everything, and now she's supposed to marry this man. I think she approaches it with a little bit more of a curiosity and a kind of calm, interest in what can I make of this, basically. I mean, this has been imposed on me, and I this is the path that has been chosen for me, as was for, most women at the time. And so I think it's more kind of, she has a much different approach on how to kind of change things in her favor, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say, because we don't see her till quite late on at the end, and then she kind of steals the whole ending of the film, I feel. And she's quite a feminist, and she says she's not going to submit to him, and she kind of almost so intelligent, and he's almost surprised. What was that quite?
Well, I think she has a perspective on King Henry's actions and all of the influences that might have informed those actions that nobody else kind of does in the movie, because she is kind of sitting back, and also the position of a woman at that time period was kind of sitting back and keeping your mouth shut and just observing a lot of things, even though Princess Catherine in reality came from a quite strong female background. Her mother was a very kind of strong figurehead in her family, and so were her sisters and everything. So I think that, her words, also her kind of advice or her questioning to Hal is kind of the purest kind of intentions, I think, that we see in the film, along with Philippa's counsel to him and everything, because it's untouched by greed or thirst for power or anything. It's purely just honesty and questioning him, just like, why did you do that? I don't think he's ever been asked that before in the movie, and it puts him in kind of a position of reflecting on all of his actions and thinking, I don't know, it's almost like her words are like a revelation to him, when to her they're kind of so obvious.
And the cast is so incredible, and the accents are amazing. Robert Pattinson really surprised me with his French accent. You're half French. Were you impressed? Did you think he did a good job?
I thought he did great, yeah. I was really looking forward to hearing his accent and just seeing his whole part, because obviously we play brother and sister, but we don't have any scenes together, so I was really excited to see what he was going to do with it, and I too was totally surprised, but really pleasantly surprised. I thought he did a great job.
I thought he smashed it.
Yeah, I thought he did a great job.
And was there anything that you kind of learnt from that time? I know it's adapted from Shakespeare or rewritten. Was there anything that you kind of learnt from that time that you kind of didn't know before? Anything that kind of was interesting about that period?
I learned like a random thing that has kind of not much to do with the story, but I've always loved history, so I really enjoyed just talking to all the incredible historians that we had on set and just kind of picking their brains about the time period and everything. We got into an interesting conversation about hygiene and talking about, because I think everybody has this idea that like in the Middle Ages everybody was just kind of super dirty all the time and everything, but apparently they had the same kind of awareness about hygiene and cleanliness that we do today. They just didn't have the same resources and kind of availability. Those things weren't as available to them, but they used to bathe in like milk and honey and rosemary and rose petals and things like that. I thought that was really interesting. I didn't know that.
But you don't know whether that's like an urban sort of legend, whether that's true or not.
Yeah, but there's so much that we don't know about that time period. That's what's so interesting, is like so much research has been done on it, and we do know so much or think that we know so much, but so much of it is unexplored. Timothy said something last night in the Q&A about how they used to walk.
Oh yeah, with
Where
the
he did
socks.
that thing with the socks. I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently they didn't have shoes in those times, or the shoes as we know them. So they were quite thick sock material that you'd have around your feet, but then your toes would be bare. So they'd walk and try and save the material from being ruined on their toes, apparently.
Apparently.
I could have
He
been
gave us-
chatting
he gave
utter rubbish there.
He gave us
but-
a good little demonstration last night
Yeah,
in
he
the
did.
Q&A.
He did. I was trying then, but like